Good morning and welcome to Coffee with Alain. Hope everybody had a fantastic, enjoyable, safe Labor Day weekend. Now most people are back to work, even if you had the days off. Appreciate everybody that joins live and comments. Appreciate everybody who watches later on replays or listens to the podcast. Thank you to all of you. We are going to talk a little bit about the movie Caught Stealing today. New one starring Austin Butler, directed by Darren Aronofsky. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about today without spoilers, which will be a little bit difficult because it's a hard movie to describe without giving some stuff away, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Before we talk about the movie, I'm going to share my mug. Got my University of Pennsylvania mug this morning, talking to the daughter a little bit over the weekend about some different things. She's really enjoying and glad that she got the Wharton Business School peer advisor position. It's a paid position, and she's been enjoying it. She gets to help the underclassmen and so forth as a peer advisor. So really happy that she was able to get that. So she sort of has two paid positions right now. She still has a position with the Huntsman program, which she's been doing all through her university days. But this year she's also over at the Wharton Business School as a peer advisor. And she really likes that they have a fancy latte coffee machine and stuff that she has access to because of being a peer advisor. So, students' budgets, students, free food, free coffee, that's always good. So pretty proud of her doing that stuff. So I was drinking out of the University of Pennsylvania mug this morning. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here and saying good morning. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend and sounded like you did when we were chatting the other night. So let's talk a little bit about Caught Stealing. I went to that movie last night and it was different from what I expected after seeing the previews, but I will say that I really enjoyed it. It has an 85% positive on Rotten Tomatoes and so forth. So it's getting some good reviews. I enjoyed it. I liked the previews. I thought it was going to be a little more humorous and more funny than it's a little more serious. But great movie. I really enjoyed it. Well done. Austin Butler is somebody I'm starting to really like in the roles he's doing. And he's doing a little bit different kind of stuff, but he did a good job in this lead. Regina King, she always does a good job. Zoe Kravitz is in there too. I like her. Directed by Darren Aronofsky. So, it had some good folks working with it. So it was well made, well done. Without giving spoilers, you got a guy that has a career going one way. He's set, everything's golden. And because of some poor choices, he loses it all. And now he's living in 1998 New York City. I put that because when they show the year at the beginning, you can see the Twin Towers, which is sort of sombering because we're almost to September 11th anniversary. But there are a couple scenes in this movie from back in the 90s New York where you see the towers, which are no longer there, obviously. So it was set in 1998, New York City. He's just sort of living. He lost everything where he had planned to go. So he's just going through things right now. And next door neighbor asks him for a little favor and he agrees to it. And he winds up in the middle of something that he did not expect. And so it gets crazier and wilder. And there's twists and turns, things you don't see coming. And he has to get out of this big giant jam that he gets into when he says he'll help the neighbor with a little thing. So without giving any spoilers, I don't want to say much more than that. The stuff from his past is relevant to what goes on to a certain degree. And there's a little bit of predictability because of the foreshadowing of what went on in his past and what happens. So you sort of see that before it does happen. That wasn't a surprise. But there are other things that go on that were surprising and twists and turns and catch you off guard. So it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. It's not as funny and comedic as I thought it was going to be when I saw those trailers, but it's still well done. Good movie. Good morning, Dixon. Dixon is here, and Dixon said, oh yeah, the Y2K scare. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I remember that. God, it's hard to believe that the Y2K was that far ago. And this movie isn't about the Y2K, but it is set in 98 when you still have the Twin Towers in the background on some of the scenes. And, the cars are a little bit older and some of that. So, good, fun movie. I enjoyed it. I think you would too if you like an action type movie, some twists and turns and so forth, and somebody dealing with overcoming sins of the past, right? So that's what my take on that without spoiling it. Check it out. Like I said, 85% positive on Rotten Tomatoes. I would agree with them. That's what I got for you today. Go out, make it a tremendous, terrific Tuesday. We're back at work after a long weekend for many people, so let's make it count. I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit of warrior wisdom.